Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. I'm about to find a little bit of water. Oh boy. So, WBC is doing some great things for us, but it doesn't mean these fights they've been mandating, doesn't mean they're going to happen. And it doesn't mean that we're going to see a guy like Wilder in the ring in 2023 if his team doesn't figure out what they're going to do here, okay? So right now, we already know Andy Ruiz's team is saying Deontay Wilder and his team are not interested in fighting him. That is the truth. And we know that's the truth because Malik Scott came out and he said they're only interested in the biggest fights in the heavyweight division. They feel that fighting Ruiz is taking a step backwards. Okay. Now, if you ask me, man, my damn eyes are bothering me looking at too much damn boxing, man. Now, if you ask me, this isn't a duck, okay? A lot of people are saying, where the Wilder fans at now? Wilder's a duck. He's ducking Ruiz, right? There are a lot of people of the opinion that Wilder is afraid, now these aren't my words, okay, that he gets in there with a guy like Ruiz, although Ruiz is shorter than him, heavier than him, a guy like Ruiz is more agile, has faster feet, can close the distance, and rattle off those, 1,000 punch combinations, and one of them are going to hit the sweet spot. And the sweet spot they're talking about, that Wilder temple are right behind the ear. That spot seems to have become a target for a lot of heavyweights. Whenever they talk about Wilder, suddenly everybody wants to talk about Wilder and hitting him right there behind the ear, giving him a temple shot, and landing the shot that Fury was landing. Okay, I get it, but at the same time, to get a shot like that off on Wilder, it's like I said in other videos, you have to insult a crocodile that's guarding a bridge and then think you're going to cross that bridge. Can it be done? Yes. The probability of that happening? Very slim. Okay? But the thing is this. Wilder isn't worried about no damn Andy Ruiz. I really feel Wilder came back to boxing with the plan. Fought Helenius. That was his friend, his brother. He cried over the dude. Didn't want to hurt him. Had to do what he had to do. Gave him a payday because Helenius helped him so much getting ready for Fury. They became close. Did what he had to do with him, right? Now going forward. Wilder really had his mind set on Usyk. And I want to say shame on Usyk, right? For even throwing Deontay Wilder's name out there. Don't do that, all right? We know Tyson Fury is all about the games, mind games. Tyson Fury will say anything. That's not Usyk's style. So when Usyk talked about getting in there and clashing with Wilder, I think we all kind of got a bit excited because we know Usyk seems to be a very straight-up person. His word means everything. But at the end of the day, people are allowed to change their minds. And Usyk didn't change his mind about fighting Wilder. He just changed his mind as far as the order in which he wants to get to Wilder. You can't blame Usyk for taking some time off after the AJ fight with everything he and his family and country have endured and are currently enduring. To come back in his first fight back after some time off and go into the undisputed distinction with Tyson Fury. Okay? Now, Tyson Fury is returning to the ring. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? So Tyson Fury is returning to the ring in December. He's fighting Derek Chisora. He's going to beat Derek Chisora. He's just hooking Derek Chisora up, okay? No problem. Making $2-3 million. It is what it is. And Tyson Fury, who's not going to take any damage at all, returns to the ring early next year to fight Usyk. The thing is this, there were dates PBC was trying to secure. And they already started trying to secure dates, especially in Vegas, for fights. One potential fight date or fight month where they were looking to have Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz was in March of next year. But they also have Caleb Plant and David Benavidez, who could potentially take that slot. Now that Deontay Wilder and his team are saying they do not want to fight Andy Ruiz, they're looking for bigger fights. This is where it becomes interesting. So now Andy Ruiz and his dad are planning or organizing a plan B. And who do you think is the plan B for Andy Ruiz if for some reason Wilder decides to do something different? The Cuban Flash. Let me tell you, Andy Ruiz, you dodge one Cuban Missile Crisis, right? You're not going to dodge this one with Frank Sanchez. I think Andy Ruiz is, he needs to figure something else out. Because going in there with Frank Sanchez that shit has problem written all over it for Andy Ruiz. You know, Andy Ruiz is a great fighter, great boxer. He's got it, man. Got to give him credit. But when you come at these Cubans, man, with that amateur pedigree, you know, Olympic pedigree, man, the boxers, punchers, man, it's just a problem. I see Frank Sanchez getting in there with Andy Ruiz, and I see that being a very entertaining fight, but I see Frank Sanchez stopping Andy Ruiz. I do, man. Luis Ortiz almost had Andy Ruiz out there. And Andy Ruiz, he can take a good shot. Andy Ruiz is tough, man. But I just think Andy Ruiz is at a point to where the man got some dough. I think he's, you know, just listening to him. He wants big fights, big money fights. But he knows he doesn't dictate anything when it comes to a fight with Deontay Wilder. All he can do is cross his T's, cross his I's, cross the street, house cross buns, and pray that somehow Deontay Wilder and his team decide to fight him. But outside of Deontay Wilder, what his dad is looking at is fighting Frank Sanchez. You got to have a plan, okay? Because Andy Ruiz doesn't want to be inactive. He wants to get back in the ring as soon as possible. So that's the first hiccup, the March date. Now, what we know is going to happen is Dillian Whyte is returning this year as well. So Dillian Whyte's returning. Tyson Fury is returning. Tyson Fury is going to come back in March and early next year and fight Usyk. So Fury and Usyk are tied up early next year. Okay? Then there's going to be a rematch. So the whole of 2023, no Usyk, no Fury for anybody. Okay? This is where it gets interesting. Dillian Whyte fights later this year. The winner of that fight is going to fight AJ early next year. Probably around March, okay? Andy Ruiz probably be fighting Frank Sanchez. Deontay Wilder will be sitting there. Now, Deontay Wilder may have to wait to see who the winner is of AJ and Dillian Whyte, or AJ or the guy Dillian Whyte's fighting, right? Which that's a very high-risk fight for Dillian Whyte. So I'm just putting that out there. There's no guarantee Dillian Whyte's going to win this fight. This guy he's fighting coming up. So around March, AJ's going to fight the winner of that fight. So that means Deontay Wilder doesn't have a big-name opponent. So March, you figure 6 months, September. That means Deontay Wilder could be sitting out the ring if he and his team want to wait for AJ or wait for Dillian Whyte, right? He could be sitting out the ring until September of next year. And if those fights still don't work themselves out, because we all know trying to work something out with Eddie Hearn, especially if AJ comes back and looks fantastic, it's going to be damn hard to make a fight between those guys and Deontay Wilder. It's not that the fighters don't want to fight. What you got is the damn networks. You got the promoters. You got bad blood. You know, you got guys who are being stubborn. And as a result, that hurts the fighters. So what I'm looking at here realistically, if we look at this year, you have Dillian White fighting this guy. I forgot the guy's name, right? Then you have Tyson Fury coming back fighting. Early next year, you're going to have Andy Ruiz looking for an opponent early next year, probably before March, because he wants to get back in the ring as soon as possible. Deontay Wilder doesn't want to fight Andy Ruiz. More than likely, you'll have Andy Ruiz, I'm saying no later than March, Andy Ruiz and Frank Sanchez. No later than March, Anthony Joshua, the winner of Dillian White, and whoever the guy he's facing. Then probably no later than March, April, you got Tyson Fury and Usyk. So everybody will be fighting except for Deontay Wilder. Then you fast forward later that year, you'll have Usyk and Fury in a rematch. You'll have AJ maybe available. You'll have Andy Ruiz maybe not available. But the AJ, Usyk, Fury, they may not be available for Deontay Wilder. The best scenario here for Deontay Wilder is he may have to wait until September, October next year to fight AJ. But that is just a problem, because we know how negotiations go. We know there's so much bad blood. And you know what sucks is these promoters really don't like Eddie Hearn, and you can't blame them. You know, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. People don't like being, poked at. People don't like being disrespected. And Eddie Hearn seems to handle it better than the other promoters. That seems to be one of his strengths, talking crap. But at the end of the day, Deontay Wilder is the one who I think, out of all these fighters, if his team doesn't sit back and really look at this carefully, Deontay Wilder could be out the ring until 2024. Because we already know he doesn't want to fight Frank Sanchez. He doesn't want to fight Ruiz. He doesn't. I mean, the fight to me is Dillian White. But it is what it is. I would love to see Deontay Wilder get in there and just knock Dillian White up. That would be great. But realistically, Deontay Wilder wants Usyk or AJ. He doesn't even want Tyson Fury. If he fights Ruiz and beats him, then yeah, he'll be the mandatory for Fury. But Fury's busy all of next year, so he'll fight Ruiz and then wait to 2024, or he's not going to fight Ruiz at all, which is what it looks like. So it's just a bad position for Deontay Wilder and his team to take when there's a strong chance of, outside of Andy Ruiz, no one else will be available unless it's like a lower tiered opponent, which he does not want to face, which could sideline him until 2024. And that's what sucks. It's not a duck. It sucks. And I personally think Deontay Wilder should have sorted things out with Eddie Hearn and fought Dillian White. But, who am I? But Jaleel Zhang, Hrgovic, Wilder doesn't want to fight those guys. Big Baby Jarrett Anderson, Wilder doesn't want to fight him. Frank Sanchez, Andy Ruiz, they don't want to fight them. They want the biggest names, the biggest money, because he's looking to cash out and retire. Can't fault him for that. But if he can clip, because you figure if he has 3 years left, okay? Look at it like this. Figure Deontay Wilder has 3 years left, right? AJ have 2 fights. That's a whole year. Fights Usyk, they have 2 fights. That's another year. That's 2 years down. Then whatever is still lingering around out there, he fights that, okay? So Deontay Wilder, realistically, if he can get 3 opponents with rematches, he can be busy the next 3 years, cash out a whole bunch of money, and right off to the sunset. But out here fighting a Ruiz, a Dillian White, a Frank Sanchez, now he's nickel and diamond, okay? He's not going to make anywhere near the money he would have made fighting the bigger names, because what we saw here with his return with the 77,000 pay-per-view buys, hey, it's something, but Not where I think they didn't meet the projection, okay? They didn't meet the financial projection, okay? So when it comes to financial management, they're going to have to come back and take a look and say, all right, putting you in Deontay Wilder with, no disrespect to Hellenius, but a no-name fighter, it just didn't work as planned. We need to be able to put Deontay Wilder and hit the 250,000 to 300,000 pay-per-view mark. Like, that is the goal. That is where, if Deontay Wilder's fighting, especially a big-name opponent, that's where a guarantee can come from, because they'll be quite confident they can do at least that many buys. But you see, it's hard to give a guy a guarantee, especially now for Deontay Wilder, showing that the man can't even hit 100,000 pay-per-view buys. See, that's what these guarantees, where you see these fighters getting guarantees, because they plan to put something on pay-per-view. And it's a no-brainer, like a Spence and Crawford, right? That's a no-brainer to give these guys a certain guarantee. Basically, whatever 250,000 pay-per-view buys at $74, whatever that comes out to, right? Was it 40 million? I don't know. But whatever that comes out to, it's a no-brainer to be able to say, hey, I'm going to give a guarantee to these guys for that. Anything above that, we expect it to do much better. Then that'll be profit for us. You see, that's how that guarantee come up. But when they don't give guarantees, it's because the promoters aren't sure how the fight's going to do. And with Deontay Wilder, I just don't see him getting guarantees anymore until he can prove that he can sort things out with pay-per-view, because the kind of money that he deserves, and he's earned the position that he's in, it's just not there. So that being said, we'll see what happens when the dust settles. But right now, this year, Dillian White returns. What's his name? Tyson Fury returns. Early next year, Andy Ruiz will return. Tyson Fury and Usyk will fight. More than likely, Dillian White and AJ will fight. Later in the year, Andy Ruiz and Frank Sanchez fight early in the year. Later in the year, Usyk and Fury will rematch in 2023. Later in 2023, Anthony Joshua will fight somebody else. Not sure who it will be. If it's Deontay, that's the best chance for Deontay Wilder. More than likely, those negotiations are going to fall apart. And then you go into 2024, Deontay Wilder trying to figure out what he's going to do, if they want to just stick to looking for the biggest names in the heavyweight division. I just don't think he's going to work out the way he wants. I think he's going to have to fight somebody, and it's going to have to be some of these guys who are more, the BC level heavyweights out there, and it is what it is. But that being said, y'all keep cool. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support as always. And as always, I'm in the breeze.